Hello everyone, for this video I'll be discussing collage film. So I only found about this many weeks prior to creating this PowerPoint presentation. But I wanted to use it for one of my quizzes, and I found a video and I thought that might be an interesting fact. But unfortunately I couldn't use the video because the company copyrighted me. I got a copyright claim over the video and I had to take the video down. But this is before the video has already been uploaded. It's been uploaded, but it's not, it's not ready to be public. So I had to take it down and re-edit the quiz PowerPoint video. I found one of the videos. I just hate the whole copyright thing, but that's how things go. And I'm learning about films because I don't know. I'm still learning as I go along because I'm a student as well. And you may not be familiar with college film. And yeah, let's get started. So I just want to start normally with a quiz that I normally do in some of my videos. So what is collage film? A name of a production company. A style of film where it involves cutting out pictures of a magazine or newspaper. A style of film which involves creating the film by collecting found footage from numerous sources. No, there's no such thing. I'll give you approximately 10 seconds. Time's up. So the answer is a style of film which involves creating a film by collecting found footage from numerous sources. So the origins of collage film. When I was doing my research, I found out collage film is believed to have derived from Surrealism, and it is defined as combining or juxtaposing different kinds of footage from disparate sources. So basically, it's like a film that's basically like a research type. It's basically an abstract or an experimental film that you get images, or you could use videos and collect them from different sources. Like it's a bit like collecting a lot of archive footage for like a documentary maybe, or or maybe images for maybe a film or documentary or so. It's normally found in documentaries nowadays, which I'll go on to shortly. In a while, I mean. These clips weren't originally intended to be joined together, but by binding them through editing, it creates a new film masterpiece. So these clips weren't originally meant to be used, but once you figure out what concept you're going with and what parts you want to use, so through editing it does help that you find different parts that could allow you to use it collectively in your images. So it's not always film cuts that make it into these composition rather than a digital reassembly of imagery. So it's not always film, it can be anything else, like animation, stills, computer-generated graphics, real news clips, and older film clips that are used to make a diverse range of films. So you can use anything you like. You don't need to feel like you're restricted to using just film clips alone. So it's a style with a massive potential for expressing creativity and bringing in history or enriching cultural attitudes. So it can change the way you view a film. She may recognize an original clip through another film, but when you go and use it for the editing purpose, it changes like the whole idea of it. So it can increase authenticity, add dramatization, and create an illusion of reality. So it can change what your perspective actually is, which is what it is intended to do. Or it changes the way you view something forever, basically, and how you look at things and analyze and maybe give yourself an idea of what the meaning behind it really is. So it changes your perception of what you think and how you look and such, as such. So as I mentioned in the first part of the origins of where this thing derives from, so the Surrealist movement plays played a huge role in the creation of collage film. So it's basically different. Collage Surrealism is quite a huge. It's not a huge topic, but it's a very, very prominent art movement, and it's used for, you know, combining two things that not the ordinary things go together to make an unusual concept, or to make things look a bit more abstract or a bit more out of this world, basically. So you basically have to think outside the box. So in 1936, American American artist Joseph Cornell produced one of the earliest examples of collage film with its reassembly of East of Borno in 1931. He combined them with pieces of other films and titled it as Rose Hobart, which is named after the lead actress of the film. So, and when the film was released or premiered, Salvador Dali had watched the film made by him, and he was absolutely enraged that he felt the idea was stolen from him. So, in terms of what I said in the beginning about copyright, which is not actually supposed to be relevant to this, which pisses me off, but it happens. So, copyright is just a hard topic within itself, and it can be annoying from time to time when people think, if you made the film, that's your film. That's what I would say. And people saying you can't get copyrighted if someone steals your idea, basically. Because he didn't really create the film. He just thought of the idea. He didn't. Maybe he discussed it and Cornell just stole it from him. That's what he felt. But I'm not sure what's going on. And Salvador Dali is one of the most famous artists, surrealist artists there is. Because he made the surrealist movement more famous, I guess. And it brought it to mainstream. He brought it out to the mainstream world, or to mainstream society, I should say. So, 12 years earlier, Adrian Brunel made a collage film called Crossing the Great Sangrada, and Henry Stork conceived 4 years earlier a film called Story of the Unknown Soldier, and this, which is in French, which I'm not going to translate because otherwise I'll butcher the language, and it's not going to be a good idea on my part. And I think people might get annoyed with me if I do that. So another surrealist artist, Andre Breton, was attracted to the idea of this collage film, and him and his friends visited a number of cinemas, and they watch films, but they don't watch the whole thing. So he's trying to create the idea of this collage film idea concept. So he's trying to combine scenes from different films. The scene that he likes, he combines them with the other scene and another scene from a different film and another scene from a different film. It's all different films. It's not supposed to be the same. The whole idea is that all different films make up that one film, basically. So I have a video. This first video I would say is the best example that I could find. I found anything more decent. I think this is the best example. So this is the next one. It's a very short video. So these are the examples that I thought might be good to show, just so you can get the concept of what it is. So, renaissance of found footage could be found in the film emerged but after Bruce Corner's film A Movie. So the film combines found footage from newsreels, softcore pornography, and B movies, all set in the score featuring Ottorino Respirgi's Pines of Rome. I'm guessing that's the music. So he basically used some of the music for that film when he combines every image. I have a feeling it might be time consuming for people to do this type of thing, but it's creative, it's a good way. So the film was recognized as a landmark of experimental film in America, particularly as an early example of found footage. In 1994, the movie was inducted to the National Film Registry. So Connor, sorry, I think I pronounced his name wrong. Connor continued to produce several other found footage films, including Reports, Crossroads, and several others. So he's basically a filmmaker that does abstract films. I think you can watch a movie on Vimeo, if I can remember, because I tried to find the film as well. So in the 1960s, Arthur Lippert worked with the National Film Board of Canada, the NFBC, to create collage film such as Very Nice, Very, Very Nice, and 2187, entirely composed of found footage discarded during the editing of other films, the former earning an Academy Award nomination. So in 1968, Joe Dante, I think he's the director of the Gremlins film, the famous Gremlins films. He's the director behind that film, I think, if I can remember searching him up. Made the movie Orgy with producer John Davidson that featured outtakes, trailers, commercials from various shows and films. Examples since the 1970s. So other notable creators include Chuck Workman, who directed an Oscar-winning film, Precious Images, which is basically a documentary that you can find maybe on YouTube or Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. I haven't searched it up. Craig Baldwin, the director of Spectres of the Spectrum and Tribulation 99, and Bill Morrison, who used archive footage that was lost or neglected in his film Dysphagia. So the technique was employed in 2008 feature film Memories of an Angel, a visual ode to Montreal composing of stock footage from over 120 NFB films from the 1950s and 60s. So, Of Time and City was about, which was directed by Terence Davis, which is about his life growing up in Liverpool between 1950s and 60s. So it was around the same year that Of Time and City and Memories of Angel came out. And they were both, Terence Davis wanted to apply that technique through that film. I think it's a documentary, which I searched again. So there was this 2016 experimental documentary called Fraud, which was sourced over 100 hours of home video uploaded to YouTube by an unknown family in the United States. I can't tell you much about the film when I searched it up because it might give away. I think I heard this film had an interesting concept of a story about fraud, I guess. I think it's something to do with this family who was in debt. Like they were owing money to banks and companies and things like that. I think when I searched up, I can't remember vaguely on top of my head what I searched up when I created this presentation. But I have a feeling I want to watch this documentary. It sounds like an interesting idea. So other notable collage documentaries. So the notable documentaries that applied to the collage film technique include the June the 17th, 1994, LA 92, Our Nixon, Tarnation, Brother, Can You Spare a Dime, Senna, Waking, Sleeping Beauty, Los Angeles Plays Itself, Frozen City, Dawson City, Frozen Time. So I've only heard of like a couple. I think I haven't heard of many of those. I've heard of a couple of them before, or maybe three. So speaking of Senna, I have. I haven't. It's the same guy who directed the Amy Winehouse documentary. He uses that technique often in his films. And I've only heard of Waking Sleeping Beauty. I think someone who was in a long, I think it's about someone who was in a coma for a very long time. I think, if I can remember, because I read something about Waking Sleeping Beauty. And I heard about I don't know much about Dawson City, Frozen Time, but I think I've heard of the title before. So comedies, some of the earliest surrealist collages were humorous. So basically, they were the tradition of using collage film to create this comedic effect can be seen in films that were made by Woody Allen because he made commercials, but he was in film too. So his first film was What's Up, Tiger Lily. I think that's his own first film he ever directed, and he used footage from Japanese spy movies, which were directed by Senkichi Taniguchi, and edited parts of it, wrote the scripts for his voiceover, and created the soundtrack for the film to make a comedy effect from it. So people often use comedy to make the film more surrealist style of film to make people laugh or to bring some sort of humor behind it. So Carl Reiner's 1992 film Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, which he accompanied found footage from classic film noir sequences and combined it with sequences with Steve Martin, who's a comedy actor. He's in films like trains, planes, and automobiles. And he was in Pink Panther and Dirty Dozen, to name a few. So physical film collaging. So some filmmakers have taken the literal approach to the meaning of collage film. So they physically get images and take pictures of stills, and this filmmaker Stan Brakhage often created films by collaging found objects between clear film stock and passing it through an optical printer such as moth. And his films that he done this to, applied it to, include Mothlight and The Garden of Earthly Delights. So you can use like art to apply this concept. And animation, you can do it to animate it. So speaking of that, animation is so examples of animated collage film which uses clippings from newspapers, comics, magazines alongside inanimate objects. So or other inanimate objects. So the Oscar-winning film Frank film, Our Lady in the Sphere, the films of Louis Clark and Jane Geyser, Charles Braveman's American Time Capsule, Heaven and Earth Magic, the works of Stan Van der Beek and Robert Breer, and the aforementioned Mothlight and Garden of Egypt, Garden of Earthly Delights. Sorry. So all these films include some sort of animation concept to it. So you can use animation as well, and you can animate pieces of different images, like the one that I showed you previously, the last film from the Random Max. I showed you that has animation in it as well, and I have found another one as well, which might be a better example than the one I showed you. So you can see that was animated. I think they added the bomb concept to. I think they just found in video and then just added it in basically. Most of the stuff was animated through computers, through a computer program, I guess. So this is the video for you. I know it's poorly explained. It's because I didn't know much about this topic, and I couldn't really find any sources that would help for this video. But I found a few, but not that many, like I normally do in some of my videos. So I hope you enjoy watching this. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and share it with your friends, family, or tell people about my channel. Or thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And I really appreciate the hard work that I've done to make for you to be able to watch this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.